Alton Towers Resort is the UK's biggest theme park and is home to 10 roller coasters.
Wow!
Today, I'm going to be ranking all of them, from the very worst to the absolute best. If you disagree, feel free to leave your opinions in the comments. I'll respond to every one of them. On with the video. Number 10, Octonauts. This is definitely the obvious choice for the worst roller coaster at Alton Towers because it's only a kiddie coaster. There's literally nothing else to talk about. It has a nice little water effect and some decent theming. But other than that, what do you want me to say? I mean, it's literally a roller coaster for little children. Something that I will say though is that the front of the train is really cool. It has Captain Barnacles looking through a window and that looks really nice. Number 9, Runaway Mine Train. This is another kiddie coaster, but there is so much more to it than there is Octonauts. First of all, this one has a far longer layout and is just a lot more fun than Octonauts. There's also this really cool moment where you come face to face with the river rapids and you can stare directly at someone on the river rapids and they just look super confused. Anyway, yeah, I like this roller coaster, it does its job. And now we're moving on to number 8, Spinball Whizzer. Now we finally move on to a roller coaster that is targeted at all ages. Spinball Whizzer is a great ride. Don't get me wrong, I prefer Dragon's Fury at Chessington, but you shouldn't take away how good Spinball Whizzer actually is. It's a very fun ride, and if you get a good spin on it, it can be genuinely amazing. Even though sometimes you can spin on it too much where you think you're going to fly off a track. Something quite strange about this ride, however, is that it used to be themed to Sonic the Hedgehog, and weirdly, some of that theming is still around. At one point in the ride, if you look at the right spot, you could see Dr. Eggman, which is weird, but quite funny that it's still there. Now, we move on to the major coasters, starting with number 7, Rita. This, in my opinion, is by far the most overhated coaster in the country. Certain creators just hate on it for no reason. I get that it's sort of short, okay, maybe it's very short, but what it does in that time is also really, really good and enjoyable. It basically gives you a tour of the Dark Forest, and I think it's very underappreciated by everyone. I also find this ride to be quite enjoyable at night because the camera flashes in your face and basically gives you a seizure for a second and then snaps you back right into the ride. But overall, just give this ride a break. It's not going to be here forever. In fact, it's had so much downtime that it makes me think that it could close at the end of the season. So just enjoy it while it lasts, please. Because I can already predict that all of you, when it's gone, will miss it and be like, we took it for granted. Number 6. 13. 13, in my opinion, is by far the best night ride in the entire country, and I will always love it for that. The reason it's my favourite is because there is no lighting whatsoever, so you just go through these elements without being able to see what comes next, especially that drop, which really catches you off guard because you don't know when you're about to crest over the lift hill. It's just nuts. I also love the bit in the queue line where the girl is counting to 13 and then all of a sudden you just get the electric. I know a lot of people hate on 13 because the way it was advertised was just awful. Shambolic. It literally can't get any worse than that.
It can.
But if you go into it just expecting a fun family coaster with a really cool hidden element, then you're in for a treat. The launch at the end is also really funny. Number 5, Oblivion. One of the most iconic rides in the country, and for good reason. Even though some people call it a one-trick pony, Oblivion's one trick, which is its drop, is just so good. I mean, can it even get better than that?
It can.
The only complaint I have about Oblivion is that if you do it on a rainy day, it can be quite painful. But other than that, it's just really, really cool. The station music is great too. Number 4, The Smiler. I'm sure a lot of you have got this higher than me, so please just hear me out. I want to start off by saying I love The Smiler. It's the world's first 14 inversion roller coaster, and they were able to fit it all into that small space. Also, I think that the theme and the storyline behind it are so cool, and sort of are what got me into roller coasters as a whole. But that doesn't make it a good ride. I've always had a love-hate relationship with The Smiler, and by that I sort of mean it went from love to hate. The first time I went on this thing, I was blown away, but the more I've ridden it, I've noticed that damn, it's rough, which is such a shame because it makes it unenjoyable when everything about this ride is so cool. However, it's still not that bad. It ranks at number 4. Number 3, Galactica. I know people aren't going to be happy about this being over The Smiler. You can cancel me if you want, I don't care. But anyway, back to talking about the actual ride. I went on this not having very high expectations and absolutely fell in love with it. It was the first flying coaster I had ever done, so the whole sensation was very new to me, and I just loved it. Not only that, but the essence and the feel of this ride, starting from the queue line and that soundtrack, is just so good, and is another reason why I like this ride so much, because it feels like more than just a coaster. and manages to do that with very minimal theming. Speaking of the soundtrack, this happens to have my favourite soundtrack in the world, so that of course completely adds to the experience for me. Overall, I love Galactica, and I think that pretty much the whole community should give it more love. Number 2, Nemesis Reborn. I don't think people are going to be happy with this one, because this is probably most people's first place, but it's not mine. You can't discredit Nemesis Reborn though. This isn't even a roller coaster at this point, it's an experience. The entire backstory and like aura that this ride has is just nuts, and there's a reason that everyone loves it so much. The actual layout itself, which I can't believe I haven't even talked about yet, is so good. It has 4 inversions and a helix, which is probably like the most intense moment on any coaster in the UK. At least it feels that way. I'm not actually sure I would change anything about this retrack and this like reimagining that they've done with it. It's so perfect. Yeah. Nemesis is amazing, however, it's still not number 1, Wicker Man. Genuinely, what more could you want out of a wooden coaster at Towers? Take everything I just said about Nemesis Reborn being an experience and times that by 10 and you have Wicker Man. This coaster's pre-show alone washes some of the coasters at Towers. The drop, the speed, the theming, the airtime, all adds up to make one of the best ride experiences we have in this country. Not to mention that this thing at night is unreal. And that is why I think Wicker Man is the best roller coaster at Alton Towers. Thank you for watching the video. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. Please leave a like and a sub. I'm trying to get this channel off the ground. And yeah, I've been BH. Peace.